Alright everyone, welcome back. We didn't have too long of a break before being able to get things going live, of course. Just double checking, looks like our X-ray and all is good, so we know there's not going to be any issues here in the beginning of this game. But Nine, they had a very impressive CT side there back on Overpass. Is that something they can continue on here now on the CT side of Ancient? We know they're capable of playing the map, even if it is one of Sprout's stronger ones.
Let's see what they can bring to the table here. Key not quite landing his initial shot on the angle. Will have to concede the control of Jaguar as Hades just jump spotting into mid. Such a precarious spot to have to play, so he'll fall back at the first sign of contact. But this A-split now will look to activate. There's a limited number of opportunities for this CT side to find kills before they're overwhelmed. They need this swing to work, and a couple of quick picks isn't quite enough. Minio inside of the site with it all to do, somehow finds another. Just dancing around this box, trying to buy all the time he can, and through the smoke, Key under pressure. A fast flank coming in, but it's been read beautifully by Stare, who shuts it down immediately. And at this point for Key, it goes from bad to worse. Half HP, they're going to chase him down, looking for the fights, and Sprout have won their pistol.
Absolute domination on the pistol. Where was that for their Overpass? I mean, fair enough, they did actually get the pistol round there, but I mean, for all the latter rounds where they were just completely missing, we didn't have anyone popping off, and well, suddenly now we have Refresh hitting that 3k. It's a good sign. He was one of the quieter players alongside Steer, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly there from that previous one. But to have them notching a few kills early on is always a good sign. Full eco though, single P250 just being bought up for Hades. I'm not expecting very much at all to be found here for 9. It should be a bit of a walkover for Sprout before we really get a feel for how things are going to go. Oh, that molly does look weird. Everyone said earlier that molly looks weird. Really does look weird. You have my POV, don't you? Because I'm streaming it to you.
Yeah, I didn't see it though, so I won't pass judgment on the molly.
Keep an eye on the next one. They are walking into an
have a
open
look.
B site though. Oh, this is going to be bad for Refresh potentially. I was going to say it's going to be bad for 9, but he ends up getting dinked to bits. They strafe run across Cave doing some damage, but it doesn't look like any of that damage is going to be convertible.
Hades might have a chance here to get one, but no, on 11 HP, Refresh will survive it. It's a shame as well, as you said, some good dinks in there, strafing away, finding significant damage, but just not able to take anything away, and that may well come back to bite them. As the buy comes out for the first time, full rifles, no AWP in the hands of Hades, however, the finances just don't quite support it. And Goofy, the only man sacrificing head armor, of course, against the Galils and the MAC-10s, that really can come back to haunt you, so some smart financial decisions, at the very least, made by the CT side. Question is, can they convert them into some round success?
They're going to find a bit of presence around Cave, most likely. Around Donut, rather. Actually, Hades decides to go aggressive with the support of Kylar. Okay, works out okay for Kylar at least. Hades had gone a bit too wide to get back to cover. So they don't really get away with anything apart from the 1-for-1 trade, which Sprout I think are going to be feeling pretty decent with, considering they're sitting on the weaker weapons overall.
Look at how much control it's got on them. A two-man A play, Goofy deep in CT. It leaves Key sole defender of the B site. He's played so passively.
What the hell?
It's going to be pretty much a free site on entry here.
Nice little zigzag of the smoke to get it to land where they need it. Will they be blocking off the vision of the only B defender that's Key? I don't think so. So we will have a chance to maybe try and get away with a kill. Good damage, a good frag on Maze. And that's the advantage that they want going into this retake with the weaponry as well. Although, as I say that, Zello with a quick return. And there's a flank, I believe, coming through pretty quickly right now. That will be a pretty big issue. They've actually decided against getting the bomb planted initially, only now putting it down. And thankfully, in a place that was safe for the Cave, and somehow Low-NX gets the drop on Minio. That was almost a certain kill in my mind. I think the observer felt it was coming as well as he was watching Minio.
Had to be a kill.
Look at the hell.
Absolutely had to be. Kylar now left picking up the pieces.
Not worth
Should be able to get one on the exit. Oh, Low-NX dodges it.
It always sucks though when he likely knew that 2 of the players were incredibly low as well. He has that called over to him. If he had the full health, if he had a kit, he might have even given it a go a little bit. But that's just being locked out with no hope. He's forced to save an M4, and with that concede a third round over to Sprout, who again are getting off to a very strong early start. Nine might be left fighting into it from behind as they were before on overpass, and although they made it work there, it's not a position you always want to be putting yourself in. Especially since they likely are to concede a fourth here. Some pistols should be bought up. They have full loss bonus. They can get quite a bit. They don't even go for that much. They want this buy to be as strong as possible in the next round. No weaknesses at all.
Can't say I blame them. Key with the initial swing. He'll be caught for free, and at this point a fast play into the B-bomb site feels pretty much inevitable. Utilities there. The flashes are good though, and Kylar and Goofy able to grab a couple of kills. Looking to make this competitive. Kylar swings on wide and will find another before he's traded. Eyes the 2-on-2. That rifle's recoverable as well. Minio should get his hands on it for free. A-site becomes the new target for this Sprout offensive, and that will be unguarded. So a free bomb plant. And some questions potentially to be asked as well now for the CT side, having got those two rifles recovered. No kit available, no armor, just one smoke. Do you want to give this one a go? Feels like they'll certainly need an early pick if they want any chance at it. But they are going to have a little bit of a nose in here. Refresh. Inside of the donut smoke, just playing the very edge of it. As Minio looks to pass on through, and this timing is now starting to get awkward. That bomb is a long way gone. Inside of the smoke, Minio will get the first, but that bomb, an ever-ticking issue. The molly comes out and has it landed. Minio tries to find an angle he can defuse from, and he can't. Not enough time. He tries to get on it, but the molly just spreads a little bit too far, and that's the round. The fourth for Sprout. They scramble it together.
Absolutely heartbreaking. They went into it with so little as well, and they managed to get so much damage done just to lose it to the molly being dropped. They're sacrificing himself as well to put it down, knowing that the time was so low. It's a risky play, but this time around it does pay off. 4-0. Sprout get the scoreline we were expecting. It's not in a clean fashion though, so a lot of reinvestment. Although even with that, they decide to bring out a couple Mac 10s, indicating that we're probably going to have a fast play here. They decide, you know what, they're back on the guns, they're going to have everything they could ask for, nades wise, etc. Let's just throw the pace. They won't be expecting us to just run straight into a bomb site. That should be the last play in our mind, and well, they get onto the bomb site. Hades though hits a ridiculous flick and manages to back away. With the help of Goofy, they've taken a 2-man advantage at the very least to set up for this retake.
That's a huge kill from Hades. If he goes down freely there, this round feels so lost. Stare trying to recover the situation. Will be traded cleanly, but the kills keep on flittering back and forth. As Launex wants to take CT control and continues to find damage. Somehow, 9 have found themselves in another horrendous spot here, and I'm not sure they're going to give this one a go, you know. Hades on low HP already. He's going to try and work his way back around up the ramp, but Maze is ready for that. Goofy instead flashed out. Launex on low HP to trade it. And again, 1v1, but that bomb continues to tick on by. He's got the kit. He'll get the defuse. 9 will finally have a round on the board, but that fast B play very nearly cracked it open. Launex again looking absolutely electric here.
Yeah, I love the change up. It's just the miracle play really from Hades to get that one flick and then to come out on top of the one-on-one as well. I was a bit worried that he wasn't maybe aware of the damage that had been done, and perhaps he wasn't as he stuck to the op, but a headshot will get the job done either way. One on the board for 9. Let's see, can they build off of this? Because Sprout had, as I said, even gone in for a couple Mac 10s when they had no necessity to, so they still have the money for their AKs. They have an op on Zello as well. This is another full buy. It's definitely not a round that 9 can afford to lose, even with the loss bonus still going.
Not a great buy for 9 either, with Goofy sticking to that MP9 inside a Jaguar. Mid control will be lost. Minio just spots a little bit of refresh as he swings by that smoke. Dink actually coming in as well onto Maze. A lot of damage transmitted in and around mid, but instead it's the Jaguar play, and Stare and Launx completely crack it open. That crossfire was established for exactly that kind of a hit, and it just can't handle the heat. Again, 9 left in disarray. B site under siege. That'll be taken relatively freely as well. The utility's there for the T side just to lock it out completely. Damage, sure. Multiple players low on HP, but it's Hades actually defending in inside of this B site, and he's going to get caught out by the timing. Stare at least traded through the smoke, but that's not good enough, and they know it. Needs so much more than that as the bomb now starts to work its way back through Jaguar. There's a flank coming in from Refresh, which Kylar is aware of and will at least deal with. Kylar's looking to buy his team an opening here, and there's a slight gap in that short smoke as well. Low HP bars on this cross. The timing is everything, and he goes through it. Opens himself up. The low HP of Maze doesn't matter when he's got the big green in hand, and this now surely has to be a 5th round for Sprout.
If he held off for another second or so, he might have caught them coming out instead. I mean, I think they were probably just going to wait for that smoke to fade, it seemed, but either way, would have had a shot at it. Instead, stepped into the crosshair, and that all hope for the round was lost. 5-1 for Sprout. They fire back with a round immediately, and as I said, despite having the loss bonus going here, they're still not in a very comfortable position, with 9 having pretty much no money on 3 of their players. I'm not too sure exactly what the buy will look like if they want to go for it here in the next round. Minio wants some exits. I don't think this is all that worthwhile, but he does know damage has been done to a couple players, so at the very least, he's made it very costly.
Costly, unfortunately, doesn't quite feel like it's good enough now.
No.
5 rounds on the board for Sprout. I mean, this map's been adjusted to make it more T-friendly, but it's certainly not T-sided yet. So as 9 take their first time out, they'll be looking at this and thinking it's not a great situation they find themselves in. Economy is shattered as well. It's not good at all. Goofy with very little money. Minio drops Hades the AWP, but Key would be struggling to buy as well. Just feels like there's a bit of a firepower discrepancy at the moment between the two sides. That's about it.
Yeah, it's now or never, really. An MP9 for Goofy again. He seems to be the one getting relegated to weaker weapons a lot of the time. Unfortunate.
Every team's got to have that guy.
A little bit of a heavier B presence in the early moments here from 9. I think expecting a quicker play again. Instead, it seems like they're grouping around A main. Something different from Sprout.
Timing of this will be key. If Kylar and Minio can find a couple of kills, then this is not going to land. It's just about picking off these initial couple of players, and that'll open up the opportunity. Spotted now. Kylar drops his smoke, and they're actually going to back away from it. Wanted that initial pick, not forthcoming, so they'll back out. They'll reset. They've got good mid control here as well. Minio was forced to abandon it to support the A site, so Refresher's worked his way all the way up. But Key, what is this? That B lane control is unexpected, and it should net them multiple freebies. Indeed, it does. 2 before Zello goes and tries to find a trade. Now it's got to be that double back onto B, and, well, Minio, he's ready and waiting in CT to catch it. Shoulder will be spotted and dealt with by Lau and X, though, and this chaos just looks to continue. That bomb, once again, will make the long flank back around. Kylar still alive and kicking. Inside of this A site is going to be the lone defender, and he's got to hold 3 angles at once here, so he is absolutely trapped in. The support should be coming, but it's a little slow, and it's going to be all onto Kylar, and he's happy to take that pressure on. Cleaned up for a second. 3 players kept alive as well, perhaps critical to the economy of 9.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of bare minimum that you want to be keeping alive in that situation. Even with that, the reinvestment comes in and they're not left with really any money. Thankfully, the same can be said, of course, for Sprout at the moment, who at most maybe upgrade a couple pistols. Even then, I don't quite see that happening with just 1900 loss bonus. Because of that, a tactical pause being called, and well, if they could find a bomb plant, I think that would be the ideal situation. Otherwise, Maze is going to struggle to buy. Refresh won't be looking too much better either. He'll barely be getting an AK, and Kevlar, no nades behind it, so they need something to come of this round.
Certainly do. Gonna pull the force buy out. And as you said, it's not a great look at all. Galil in the hands of Stare. Couple of pistols. Couple of MAC-10s. And it's going to have to be something very swift here, and indeed it is. Flying out of mid, the spam of the M4 not quite connecting. A timing on the molly going down. Kylar, a free pick. And chaos once again in the ranks of this CT side. Donut control is lost. They've got very little information in towards middle as well, and as Refresh looks to bait the crosshair away, the trade will come in from Stair. At least Goofy there this time to back it up, but almost immediately he is felled. And that man advantage is back the way of Sprout. This was the force buy, don't forget. This was P250's Tex Max. It was not a good look. And instead, it's Sprout who find the success. That fast play through mid, catching a couple of timings, and 9 once again forced to save on the CT side.
It's out of control, really, for 9 now. Single round every now and again. It's honestly worse than if they were to just keep on losing the rounds outright. At least at that rate, they'd have the full loss bonus going constantly. These 2 are left standing. That'll let them drop to Goofy and Kylar, and Key can buy for himself just about. So they're making it work, but well, they've got to make this one work. Otherwise, this round goes south. Suddenly, Sprout are sitting on at least 8. They've already got a win at the half time, and at that point, I start believing in the Mirage decider.
Certainly feels that way, doesn't it? 9 really haven't had control over this CT side whatsoever. They need some consistency. Molly's exchanged in towards Jaguar will force Goofy back. Force him to rethink his initial proactivity. As mid control once again is given up relatively freely. This time though, Goofy's able to make the best of the wallbangs. Lauanex though again immediately there with the trade. These wallbangs countered as the aggression is well read by Sprout. Lauanex the only player you really do not want to run into, and once again he proves why. 4 on 4 with him down on 8 HP. It's certainly doable, but that CT defense once more is so spread. Nade stack over the top does good damage onto both Goofy and Hades. And as Sprout look to pull the trigger, it's going to be 2 on 4 as they enter into this site. Flashes are good. Goofy with a lot to do here. He's got bomb down, but that's not enough. Hades at least trades his death. Buys a little bit of space, a little bit of time. That bomb out in no man's land. Rifles trained on the positions. Maze knowing he's got to try and get across this somehow will instead fate the smoke, and that'll mean Refresh goes down. Maze last up. Locked surely out of any kind of impact in this one. The ramp should be shut, but he finds one and dinks the second through the wall. But Kylar's spray just that little bit better as 9 rescue a 3rd round from the ashes.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like somehow they always manage to let it slip away. Surely not this time, since again they're up against the weaker buy, but we've seen this before. It didn't work out too well for them. Another magic pause maybe coming in for Sprout right now. I don't think so. I don't think more than a few P250s are going to be purchased up though, so my hopes aren't incredibly high.
Should be the key word. A relatively easy one.
He's having a monster day in terms of performance. Especially in the first half, he was 14 and 2 at one point on overpass. 14 and 6 now. Hopefully an hour-long pause doesn't disrupt their momentum again.
Cast a curse attempted. We'll have to see if it comes through. Good damage, and in fact the kill found by Minio through that mid-smoke as 9 looking to take a more proactive stance to it. With the utility finally available. Pushing down, taking that mid-control. Goofy looking to push through as well. Instead, it's Minio flashed in who finds a second. And in very quick succession as well, this round almost for fading away from Sprout in the opening 30 seconds. Still that B site relatively undefended. Goofy and Key with just an M4 and an MP9 between them. But the reinforcements are starting to make their way around now as Minio will look to join. And 3-on-3, these pistols really shouldn't be getting too much done whatsoever. Goofy going to be charged down, and it's a rough old spray, but he lands it, goes back for more and grabs the double. And at this point, a flawless round, exactly what the doctor ordered for 9. A clean one at that, up against the Force Buy. Eco to follow, and an opportunity to start trying to stabilize this CT side.
Alright, we finally got them chaining together a couple of rounds. They've broken the course at the very least, and well, should have another round on top of it, so on track to maybe even tie things up if they can keep it going as far as winning out the next gun round as well. It's all Glocks, one flash, quicker B play perhaps here from Sprout. A deeper smoke though, I don't think we've really been seeing this from 9. Yeah, they want to try and swap it up a bit more aggression around the alley. It's just the MP9 for now that's taking the peak though, knowing that they're up against the weaker buy. I'm wondering if we'll see any plays like this perhaps once the rifles are back in play.
Tried it a couple of times. Mixed success as Goofy tucks himself in, and well, the timing on this swing could be lethal. Instead, there's multiple bodies turned to face. His spray's a little ugly, but the rifle is there to bail him out of too much trouble. So just the one kill. The MP9 goes down. They won't be too fussed about that. Goofy does a good little job of farming that round as well, so he'll be able to buy cleanly. Could even get Hades' AWP. And 9. Well, if they can get this rifle round on the board, as indeed Hades does get his big green, then suddenly this one starts to look a lot more feasible. Sprout just letting their foot off the gas in the middle of this map again. Very similar to what we saw for those moments on Overpass. Of course, that a little more forgivable given the tech.
They were pretty fortunate to get away with as much as they did there in that previous round, to be honest. As you said, it allowed Goofy to get that big green gun out for Hades as well. The slower default once again, waiting out the smokes. This time they don't actually follow up those smokes with the aggression though, but it's got to be at least in the mind of Sprout that it is a possibility. This could be dangerous around the cave right now. Wallbang was a bit too late to do any damage, but it did leave him slightly exposed if they had to push through as that smoke was fading, but he backs away, shows his presence, just keeps them on their toes, really using utility to try and clear this area out, and honestly they don't have that much left. They've already used out most of their mollies, they have a couple of flashes and some smokes, that's all they're left to work with, and right now just trying to split across the map and find picks, it's not working for them. Minio shuts one down towards the sniper's nest, and this is going to force their hand in towards B now.
Fast flank coming in as well. They've got them completely locked in. They know this is a B site hit, the CT side, so they can start pulling off some boosts in and around the edges of these smokes. Should be able to get a freebie, and indeed they do. Stare at least there for the trade, but all the while, this backstab is starting to come in. Lauan X needs to turn, needs to do it now, and he won't. 2 remaining players utterly trapped inside of this site in a 2-on-4. They will be able to isolate the first. Maze goes down low, but he finds the kill, and that bomb, the timer is his friend as he finds another on the trade. It's Maze solo inside of this site, but he's got another big headshot, and it's Hades. Into the 1v1, he switches it out to the AK and gets the kill, but again, that's a 2-on-4 turned 1-on-1. Sprout are making every single one of these rounds a struggle, every single one an arm wrestle, and 9 are having a fight for every inch they get.
Yeah, not as easy maybe as they would like, but definitely has picked up over these past few rounds. I wasn't expecting us to get to a point where they'd be sitting on a tied scoreline for sure. Half investment. Kind of? No, never mind. A couple of players with pretty much all of their money gone, so this is a bit of a risky round for Sprout. Obviously have the loss bonus, I believe, at max for this next one, but still looking for a quicker B play this time around. I do believe they beat the molly indeed. Key is ready for it though, alongside a crossfire from Goofy in towards Cave. And while he's lost his teammates on the bomb site, if he can even just stay alive for the moment and keep them with keep the extra angle for them to come in for the retake from, rather, I was gonna say that will be plenty, but he has a gap in the smoke even. to get a kill on this stair. So it's all on Zello and Maze, both of which have been having a slightly slower game so far, and it doesn't look like it's going to pick up too quickly. Zello all alone, 1-on-3, trapped in on the bomb site. The smoke at least cutting off a couple of those players, and it lets him force the 1v1 up against Kylar. A second dropped as Hades comes out of the smoke. It's belayed again for Goofy, and they just give it away 1 by 1. I mean, the initial kill, fair enough, he isolates that fight on his own, but somehow they don't emerge from the smoke together when they definitely should have. They could have went around the pillar at the same time even.
1 by 1 by 1, they put them up, and 1 by 1, Zello knocks them down. 9, perhaps getting a little overzealous there, looking at that round, thinking it's a slam dunk after Maze misses the shot onto Hades, but plenty of players talented enough to punish at this level, and you see it again here as charging up mid, Kylar at the very least will start his redemption arc with a kill. Maze goes down on the initial mid control. 9 aware they've given up a golden opportunity at that round. They need this one to come clean. Need something to settle the nerves perhaps again. Big man advantage to find for them early on in proceedings. Refresh now taking the fight on that headshot angle. Good damage, but not the conversion he needs.
Really seeing this straight up approach. All 5 of them grouping towards Dona. Well, 4 at this point. Fortunately, I was gonna say it should be known considering the B aggression that's come through, but as an op pick comes in, there just might not be much that they can do about it. Refresh catches Kylar before the smoke blooms, and as the bomb's going down, I think 9 should already be considering this save so that they have something to fight with in this next round.
Yeah, if they don't save this one, the last round of the half's going to look very ugly, and without an early pick, there's really no way they're going to get into this one. Molotov goes in to try and flush Lau and X out, but that's going to take a long old time to pop, and the flashbang is so well orchestrated by Sprout. Key on the backstab, trying to accelerate things, does get one, his teammate there to trade, but still, there's 2 players in towards the donut, and that bomb is so far gone now. Molly onto it surely means game over. Smoke onto it, as inside of it on 4 HP, Key's going to try and stick this defuse, and oh my goodness, he's going to get it! 4 HP, AK bullets raining all around him, and somehow 9 pull off the miracle.
Alright. I don't know how they managed to make that happen, but I guess it slightly makes up for the 3v1 that they let slip in the previous round. Gives them the hope of still potentially coming out on top of the half. The money, though, is still okay for Sprout, especially with a couple weapons being carried through, so yeah, not too often we get to see a defuse being stuck like that. Great work. See who edges out the half at this point now. Honestly,
4
this is
HP.
looking like a game that could really go either way, and I wasn't quite expecting that.
Oh, they've misread it though. Bomb's working its way out B, and this aggression out the scaffolding has been read as an almost certain A play, so they've left the B bomb site wide open for the taking. The timing is everything here, and as Lau and X gets the freebie, that B site, well, currently it's completely unguarded. Not that Sprout know. Hades will recover the rifle, looks to try and find the kill in response, can't quite, instead escapes to the relative safety of that B site as Maze catches another. The aggression down mid, read and dispatched of. 9 want to push the issue, but they're just pushing into welcoming crosshairs here. Key left in a 1v5, an almost guaranteed 8th round. Narrow lead at the half for Sprout as well. As that bomb goes down, he's got to give it a go, Key, but it's one of those. You throw yourself into it knowing full well it's a 1v5. He's going to flash himself through the first smoke, but there's a second there. He's caught inside of it. Not quite sure where he's looking. He puts his own smoke down. He's trying to dance around, but it will be 8-7 as we head to the half. It's Sprout with the lead, headed to the CT side.
Yeah, I think we do have the break for a couple of minutes, guys, so we're going to go ahead and send it over, and as soon as the players have readied up, we'll be hopping back in with that second pistol round.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night and never day. Even when I wash the floor, the dust still comes. Keep on hunting for the bread. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm, far from calm. I know you feel me, brother. Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night, it's never day. Even when I watch the floor, the dust will come. Keep on hunting for the prey. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm, far from calm. I know you feel me, brother.
Alright, everyone, we said it would be a quick break, and that was the truth. We're hopping right into the second pistol round, and, well, honestly, I don't know who the momentum sits more with at the moment. 9 definitely were able to claw back into a decent position, but Sprout with a decent ending as well. If they can get this pistol round going, I'm afraid it could look very similar to how that first half kicked off, and they just won't have the space to make a comeback happen this time. May is okay, following up his teammate. The aggression through mid as well is the hero play. Without Refresh, he would have been in a lot of trouble, and it's Sprout again, just absolutely slapping 9 on one of these pistol rounds. No chance.
That's a big pistol to find as well. A nice confidence builder. A little bit of breathing room as well, given how close that first half ran to get the pistol. No bomb plant either, so not even much opportunity to force on 9. They're going to take the eco, stick to the rifles when they can afford them. And then this round, I mean, this is one of those ones, isn't it? 5 Glocks up. MP9's playing proactively. Hope you can bleed the utility from the CT side. I mean, you can't really find much more of a silver lining than that.
All Glocks as well. I'm expecting nothing here, so definitely going to be double digits for Sprout. Still early days in this half for sure, so not confirmed by any means, but Sprout, of course, need this victory here to send us to a third map. I like the boosts. This actually could be trouble for the MP9s.
Could make it a little ugly, certainly, but the spray down's well held. And as much as you hoped for some action in this round, okay, Hades is going to try and provide it. Gets at least 1 before he goes down. Interesting decision from Refresh to drop an M4A4 to recover an M4A1, but there we are. We won't stress about it too much as the AKs come out for 9 and we start to get to the interesting stuff here in map 2. An opportunity for 9 to show us that their T side's got a little more muscle on the bone than perhaps their CT side did.
Yeah, with all these SMGs, though, at least 9 do have the advantage. Weaponry-wise, I have hiccups. Bad timing. Bad timing in towards Mayan as well, though, as Lounx finds 3 of them with only an MP9 to put up resistance. A dink, at least, on the Hades did help them out a little bit, so the damage is in their favor, but Well, let's see, because it doesn't seem like the commitment's actually coming in for now. They're happy to slow it down. They forced out quite a few nades there as well as in the response from Sprout, and they pulled a few rotations.
I like the call it gets them the opening 4-on-4, and as you said, it's really pulled this defense into a bit of disarray. A two-man A hold, currently no presence in mid. There's gaps for 9 to potentially exploit here. Kylar left to fake the idea that there is still presence, but flashed up, should have gone down just about instead. Manages to deal with Zello, and now that bomb has got options, positions to work with Stare, cutting out at least one flank of this offensive. There's 3-on-3 with Hades dinked up. This is not a good look for the boys on 9. They've got no information at all on this CT side either, other than Refresh, who's going to get his free kill as well. Kylar goes down, and at this point, they are going to get flanked out from absolutely everywhere. As soon as that bomb goes down, Stare, the first one, tucks himself into short. If he goes too far, Key will get him, but he's not going to expose himself. And instead, the site will be taken freely. Refresh flanking on through. They need kills here, and quickly. Hades has been spotted. That bomb at least ticking down, but with the smoke going onto it, Maze can tap that one out inside of the smoke, in fact, and Key's forced to call his bluff, swings, gets one, buys a little more time to survive as he tucks himself back out of long, but Maze has found a response, and now he'll tap that bomb again. He knows he's got to bait this out. There's only a couple of kits, but it's Key with the double spray down, who secures another miracle round from 9. Another must win that they somehow scrape over the line with absolutely nothing. Just about. Force Spy will come in to respond from Sprout, and it's not a bad one either. 3 rifles, including an AWP. Deagle and the magic of a 5.7, certainly capable of finding damage. 9 forced to make some sacrifices of their own as well, and the first of them is picked off pretty much immediately, and Hades is flying off the back of that decision, but he's going to be traded clean, and that's the bomb down. In the middle of no man's land, the site is lost. Lauenex at least traded as he looks to join his B site defenders, but does he even need to be here? Because it's Zello continuing to pick them off. Minio will once more find a quick kill, and it's a misflick from Zello, which makes it awkward. A fight that can't quite land for the Deagle, but Zello is back again. And the AWP that was forced into this round may well have saved it. Minio on 24 HP, and he's only got a Mac 10 to work with. He won't find it. Sprout get a force buy of their own on the board. The miracle round that may well seal the deal here on Ancient. As they take a timeout to assess the situation, 9 will be looking at their economy and wondering, where did it go so wrong? That was the round they needed to get back into map 2 to force some control of Ancient. Instead, there's no bomb plant. There's isolated fights being taken. And as they look at their economy into this one, some big decisions to be made. And I think the call is to allow a 12th, a handful of Deagles bought to maybe pull something miraculous out. But it will be limited resistance in round 20. Opportunity to farm on Refresh as well as he picks himself up an MP9. And again, 9 not fancying the quicker plays. Slow approach seems to be friendly to them. And with Zello posted on this angle, it's not a bad call at all from Sprout. Well placed to deal with this. Minio will find at least one, though, lurking underneath the crosshairs. Able to get the 1D on to Stare, and for now, Zello sits isolated. The lone bastion inside of this B site. The problem is he's being flanked out all the while. This T side is slowly being pincered in on. Timing of this Deagle could be everything in Key. He doesn't quite know where to look yet. Zello now gives it away, but he hits the second. And that's a huge flick to find, as now the rifles will come in and pick up the pieces. Goofy last up. And he's the man who had the Glock at the start of all of this for a split second there. If Key had swung the right way, this could have got ugly, but it's not to be. 12 on the board. Sprout looking to force us to Mirage. AKs at the very least are out for 9 to try and have some kind of impact here. Kitchen sink of a buy. Everything they could possibly afford has been bought. Every investment they could think of has been made. But what's the plan? What is the key to cracking open what has been a resolute defense from Sprout? As once again, they want this mid control and they'll be given it. X posts himself behind the smoke. Does leave that B-bomb site a little vulnerable as Key finds at least an opening. But again, there is more bodies here. Refresh fires off warning shots. Lets the T-side know he's present. Deep Smoke refreshes that mid control again as Sprout are trying to take as much of this fight to the T-side as they can. They don't want to let 9 settle. You can see it in how they're playing, pushing everything in these opening moments. Looking to play for the man advantage. For now, it hasn't come. But there is going to be more proactivity, and it's going to be down this ramp. Lining up the flashes for it. Plenty of bodies here waiting, but will those flashes catch them right? Smoke flashed out. Goofy tries to bail. Hades finds one, but his teammates lost in response. And that's B lane control conceded as well. Should be recoverable out through mid, but it's a game of timings with Zello now looking to push the issue as well. He's going to head ahead of the smoke. Misflick. He'll get away with it for now. Can retreat through it. And buys himself just that little bit more time. But there's only 30 seconds left on the clock for this T-side. They need to pick a site. They need to execute. And for now, they're still in mid. Minio trying to put the final nail in it. There's just Zello and Maze now remain. And that B-bomb site open for the taking. Surely it will be a 9th round. Minio, it's a scrappy old fight in mid. But he does go down. And at this point, yeah. Sprout, I think, will consider and resign themselves to saving what little firepower they have left. Knowing just 3 players alive for that 9T side does not do a lot to build their bank accounts. And with these weapons, they can perhaps mount another half-buy defense in the next.
Apologies, I was having some technical issues. Oh, we are back. And, well, it looks like I didn't miss too much anyway. 9 beginning to come alive again. Only now, it seems. I'd say for a minimum of 3 are kept standing as well for them. So it's good to see that they are starting to close things in a little bit. Sprout still up on 12, though, with a decent enough economy with the saved weapons to scrape together a buy. They're not going to be giving this one away for free. They want the scrap right here. They're definitely going to find one. But if this one goes south for Sprout, suddenly then they're on the eco. 9 are going up to 11 rounds. And it's a gun round then that could put 9 back into the lead, which seemed almost impossible a little while ago. So things could definitely still slip away here for Sprout.
Yeah, the problem for 9 has been consistency. They've really struggled to find a repetitive way to break into this defense. Kylar, though, trying to provide it, will get an early pick. Refresh, looking to aggress into Donut, finds the trade. Kylar still trying to bait the idea of this site control over on A, and he's done a fantastic job of it. 2 kills have drawn the rotation. Maze, sole defender of B, surely to be executed into, but 9 are taking it so slow. Spending so much time clearing these corners that it will allow the defense to reset. It will allow for that second player out towards long. Maze tucks himself in the cubby and goes down. Stare smoked off out on long, but there's a gap for him to abuse. Zello doing all he can to keep his teammate alive. Finally put down as Stare is left in the 1v2. The shots give his positioning away, and Key will swing wide to trade. That was the round, as you said, Dean. The round that they could really have shut the door on 9's hopes of a comeback. Instead, they will be down on the eco, and it will be an opportunity for 9 to get within touching distance of this CT side on 12.
Yeah, this is crazy. And again, it's you have Sprout, who kind of have a much top-heavier scoreboard with Lau and X up at the top with 21. Zello on the top on 24 this time. Lau and X right behind him. So the two Romanian additions showing what they can do. Two of the best names from Romania for sure. I mean, Zello's been around as long as I can remember. So it's definitely good to see them, but I think they need a little bit more assistance, because over on 9 you have everyone contributing, and that seems to be the difference maker when it comes into these long drawn out games, especially when some of the players begin to quiet down a little bit. Nice work by Key, good control on the AK, and a fantastic nade and follow up to go ahead and get himself a nice little eco ace. That's what it is, an eco ace. I mean, it's not massive, I don't think he's going to be cheering about it for too long, but it's always nice to be able to just deal with all those players. Had the stats up to 19 as well, get the confidence rolling, and see if he can continue on with that now coming into what is going to be easily the most important gun round of this game and series so far, because if 9 take this, they're in the driver's seat, they're in a position to run away and take this 2-0.
It's always nice to get those confidence builders under your belt, clean them up without too much difficulty. And as you said, a big swing round in the context of map 2 here, and potentially in the context of the series as well. 9 trying something a little different with it. 2 players inside a main, a couple working mid, suggesting the idea of an A-site split. Not a common call either, so it's left the CT side a little bit unawares. There is aggression though, starting to come in down that B ramp, and that puts a timer on this whole play. If they can start to work out what's wrong, Sprout can start to sniff out what execute is being planned, then this one starts to go wrong very quickly, and it's aggression down the ramp from Stair that will open it up. A pick onto Key that makes this difficult to try and get into, but once again, it's Kylar who's consistently opened up this A-site, who's doing it once again. 2 picks, A-site wide open for the taking, and Sprout want none of it. Almost instantly backing out of that situation, knowing, as you said, Dean, that their economy is not in the position to sustain another buy right now. An A-site retake in a 3-on-4 is rough at best, impossible at worst, so instead they'll satisfy themselves with saving what they've got and live to fight another day with a couple rifles and an AWP.
Yeah, definitely should be doing so, although with a bit of money, 9 could maybe send out a small hunting party, but I'm not too sure they even want to bother with that. They might just want to hang on to all 4 guns and keep on building their own economy for if they do end up losing a couple rounds in a row. And at this point, yeah, it'd be pretty much impossible to catch those weapons, so it will at least be an op, and as you said, 2 rifles carried through. They haven't got the money to drop over to, well, they will with the loss bonus, obviously, but they don't really have money built up on the players currently, and even then, with the loss bonus, they only got 2,900, so they're only just about able to drop the rifles. So I don't love it. Are they going to go for the force buy? I think I'd rather see the kind of half investment. They can get pistols and Kevlar on the 2 players that don't have anything, get a few extra nades on the players that already have their rifles, and then still get the buy in the next round while having a pretty good shot at actually winning this one, and then not having to worry about that anyway.
If you thought the last round was a big swing in the context of the series, this one becomes even more critical. Decision to be made, as you said. And a big one at that for Sprout. Unfortunately, we do have a technical. And in the classic online BO3 technical fashion, it's because Lauanex has spilt water. So, we've all been there, even the professionals, spilling water over their setup. Luckily, it's not anything too serious, so we are going to be ready sooner rather than later, and we don't have to worry too much about how much of his hardware Lauanex has wrecked. And at 12 all, this round could decide if we need 3 or not. Refresh on a 5-7, Lauanex on a Deagle. We've seen this buy almost to the gun work for Sprout before. 9 tried to up the pace into that B site, and they were punished for it. What is the call this time, and will they be able to navigate this buy?
Yeah, that's the question. I like that they went with this half investment option that I was chatting about, though, because you still have an AK and up and an M4, and let's be real, the Deagle and 5-7 can do some serious damage as well. May is aggressive out through B. Manages to only catch one of those players, though, confirming that there was quite a bit of presence in this area, and his teammates at the moment, they're doing a pretty good job actually snatching the advantage. Missed up shot, I was gonna say, potentially costing them, but it doesn't matter. Zello gets the follow-up, Steer finishes off Goofy, and out of nowhere, Sprout have come alive.
Huge round to find. Again, just a little bit of confusion seemingly from that T side. The one pot flash in, beautifully called, beautifully orchestrated. Catches so much for free out of 9. So many players blinded up. Nobody quite ready for it. And from there, exposing themselves to the angles, the utility not there for the execute that they would have liked, and Sprout have bought themselves a chance. The reinvestment will be available from 9. It will be full rifles. Good utility still. But this time it's up against Sprout with everything. The double AWP bought into this one for the first time on that CT side. Alan X taking secondary duties as its aggression down this B ramp, and Key has no idea that Stare is there. That Molotov will finally give him a clue with the audio cues. He's lucky to be alive. Can he make something of that life is the question, as Kyler again has gained a huge amount of map control for free, and Maze is caught on a wallbang as well, so this goes from bad to worse now, as they are caught in transition by Hades, who's running rampant now on the ramp. 2-3 players low, and this might be the opportunity that this T side so desperately needed. Kylar is ready and waiting for this swing from Refresh. He'll get the freebie. They know there's 2 bodies inside of that B site, so an A site split again becomes viable. And this double up setup is looking like the wrong call entirely for Sprout.
Yeah, unfortunately, especially with the low health now on 2 players. We're gonna need a miracle from one of these uppers, basically. As the A bomb site falls, Lowen X in the back temple. Really not in a position to be getting anything done, unfortunately. Honestly, saving it would probably be the play, although with so much money, never mind. They may as well just give it a go. I forgot it was, of course, previous round being won out by them, and Lowen X has already got 2 entries. Suddenly, they come alive and start giving us some hope. Zello with one as well. Eventually traded back by Goofy, and the health definitely favors 9 at this point, and with smokes being freshly put down, Zello and Maze decide, nah, we're not going for this with a combined 21 health between us. We've already got the blackjack. We'll back away and save our weapons.
The damage is good, though. The damage is really critical. It's going to be a heavy reinvestment for 9. And at 13 all, potentially, if they can break the economy, that would be massive for Sprout in their hopes of finishing this one off. They'll still be able to buy plenty over on that CT side. As you said, they've got the money in the back pocket now. The reinvestment will be able to come through. And every round becomes more critical than the last as the economy sways back and forth between these 2 lineups. The reinvestment is heavy from 9. And it's heavy from Sprout as well. Both of these teams delicately trying to balance the books. Question is, who will have the brute force to get it done? It's the double up setup again. Zello and Lowen X to try and have impact with it. Lowen X soloing over towards the A site this time as Zello goes for a little bit of a roam in towards B.
Grouping it up on mid instead. I don't think Refresh. Did he spot them there with that jump peak? Not
He
too
should have.
sure.
He should have had an idea. And Lowen X's reaction suggests he does.
Yeah, rotating it back around towards the spawn side of things instead. The problem is the timing has worked against them, if anything, right now. If they put a smoke down, he's going to be fully blocked off, and the bomb site should be theirs for the taking, but never mind. Goofy leaves his back exposed as they walk out.
There's no one in Donut. There's no one in Donut for this plant.
Oh, what the
This
hell?
should be a
They're
free
already
backstab. Lowen X gets one for free, and now they're flanking out already. Nobody is home. Surely that's a freebie. Minio somehow keeps his team's hopes alive, but look at that 3rd player. Look how far away he is. As Zello gets 2, there's nobody home. There's nobody anywhere near for 9. Key is still in CT. There's nothing he can do. This diffuser is going to come through for free. Key's looking for damage and nothing else. He does very well to get 2, to be fair to him. But it's 14 on the board, and it's the economy on the brink once again for 9 as they take the timeout.
That was just an all-around strange round, as you said. It seemed like they had no idea.
Agreed.
They didn't have presence still in towards the donut, and they got shot by the one player Minio saved today by killing him, but then they just completely forgot about it, as if, okay, yeah, there could not be anyone else there. It's impossible. I don't know what exactly was going down there. And then obviously having the other player so far away, lurking on the other side of the map. I'm not too sure they expected to get into the bomb site as quick as they did. But yeah, losing Goofy initially seems unnecessary when they had the smokes and such to put down. Just wanted to keep that element of surprise, and it backfired. 14-13 though. 1 round in the difference. Sprout on the verge of at least securing the safety of the overtime if they can just get 1 more round notched onto the board. If they lose this though, their economy is in shambles and they would be struggling to keep themselves alive. Oh, great.
What's the call? What is the call here from this T side? Heavy presence outside of B to start it off. No more of this sneakiness in and around mid. Going with the blunt edge of the weapon on this one, I suspect. Minio feigning a little bit of mid control. Jaguar will be taken. But there is a lot of presence ready and waiting at the moment from the CT side. They're going to pop and execute here, 9, and it's going to have to be perfect. They need this to be clean on entry. If it goes wrong, that will be it. And here come the nades over the top, trying to lock out these initial fights, but it's a flashbang in, and it's perfect for Stair too, as his teammates just about find the trades. Kylar and Minio keep this T side in it 3-on-3, but there is flanks upon flanks at the moment, and Zello is still on this gap in the smoke. He does not want to relent the control. Bomb will go down from Kylar. That's not catchable, but now he's stuck inside of the site. Minio deals with the backstab, and that's a huge kill, as now the entire retake rests on this long push. There's crossfires available, but Hades can't hit his shot, and neither can Zello. Minio left, 1v1, tucks himself behind the boxes. There's a kit in the hands of Zello. There's no utility for Minio. He's got to face up, and he loses it. It's 15 for Sprout, the critical, the overtime securing. The one that may well decide if we need Mirage to separate these two lineups has gone the way of the CTs.
Damn, caught out in the open there. Very well played by Zello. He's been having a ridiculous performance, so if you wanted anyone in that clutch, it was him, and it's not the first time he's been able to make it happen either. Had at least one 1v3 previously, which without they would probably also be looking at a potentially reversed scoreline right now, so very important indeed. 2 rounds in a row is what's needed to get it to an overtime for 9. Sprout just 1 to finish this off and confirm Mirage is the decider. They got it in them. If 9 got it in them is the question, as their economy I think is a little iffy, as you can see. Key not quite there with what he needs to get his AK. Kylar only has 1500 in the bank as well. And they've already got a Galil on Goofy, so there's quite a few weaknesses, actually.
Not where they would have wanted to be. Again, 9 have let a couple of those critical opportunities slip. And just like Overpass, when we looked at Sprout and said we needed someone to step up, this time 9 need a big player. Zello and Lau and X leading the charge at the moment, and thus far, the T-side haven't had an answer. They're going to need one soon. A scrappy old buy into this. What could be the decisive round. Maze sets himself in towards Jaguar, and it's aggression again. Key again, not expecting it. They turn their backs, and that's when they look to strike. Traded at the very least is Stair, as he manages to retreat out on half HP. 4-on-4, they'll take that, the CT side. They don't know it yet, but they're stripping away the firepower of this 9 lineup. Jaguar is taken. And what is the call? Again, the utility is there for 1 pop at this execute. They've got 1 shot at this. If it goes wrong, it will be a 3rd map. It will be Mirage to separate these 2 lineups. B is going to be the call, and it's a heavy-handed stack from Sprout off the back of it. The aggression out A long from Lau and X on the secondary AWP has allowed this CT side to stack up over on B. Zello is posted. Utility over the top, but they've still got to clear this AWPer out of the cave as the wallbangs come through. 35 seconds. CT smokes come in to make it that little bit more complicated. And now 9 don't have a choice. They've committed their util. There's one smoke left on them to get in, and it's a swing from Minio that opens it. One quick kill, but Lauanex has picked off the flank. And it's all on this site hit now. It's do or die, and Zello lightning quick gets it. It's all Hades. There's nothing he can do to stop it, and we will need Mirage to separate these two rosters in the game that just keeps on giving. You couldn't have imagined that it was going to be so close on map 2, and somehow both teams brought their A game, and it ran all the way to the wire.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous there in the final round from Zello as well with those flicks. It just reflected kind of how he was performing throughout that entire map. And without him, without the performance from Lau and X initially as well, that would have been a very, very different